Hello, welcome in my channel Metamorphosis. Dagmara here, hola. Today I would like to talk about judgment, and the subject came to me because recently I had a lot of insights about correcting things, about judging things, and in the spiritual world it's often the judgment is seen as something wrong, that we shouldn't judge people, we shouldn't be judgmental, it's bad to have judgments. And which in itself it's a judgment already, so it can be paradoxical as well. But I want to talk about to see judgment as something useful, to have a good judgment, to have a healthy judgment on the situation, the behavior, is something that can lead us to making the right decisions in life. And in therapy and in coaching, the most important, at least for me, the most important thing is to build a relationship with yourself. So in order to have a healthy relationship with yourself, you really need to have a good judgment. And that's why I would like to talk about that. We can see the judgment as something very useful and positive, and also use the judgment to judge the behavior and situation, not necessarily the person. And I think that's a first step to separate those two, that it's okay to have a judgment about situation and it's okay to have a judgment about behavior, but it's not necessarily helpful to have a judgment about the person because it comes from a different place. So often when we're judging a person, it comes from the place of comparison. You know, this person is A, B, C, D. I'm not. You know, that's a subtle ego enhancer or self-esteem enhancer. When we talk in a bad light, in a bad way about other people, it always comes from that insecurity part of us that we want to feel good about ourselves. However, there is a difference between focusing on the behavior that this person had displayed, acted in a way that it wasn't useful for me, it was wrong, I didn't like it, I don't want people to behave like that towards me or towards other people. And this is where the judgment can be very useful, and I would even say it's important to have it. And focus of my work on my own internal work and my work with my clients is to focus on building the relationship with yourself, because it's a base of everything in your life, of your satisfaction, of your happiness, quotation mark, of your contentment with life, of your relationships with other people, of your love life, of your any type of interactions that you have with the world outside, come from your internal world, from the relationship you have with yourself. So to have a good judgment, it's something that helps us to build that relationship, so it can be healthy and it can be strong and it can be defined. You know, I know what my boundaries are. And of course, boundaries can change. It's a subject of change usually. But I can be very clear on judging the situation and on judging the behavior. And I would invite us not to fear that, just the opposite, just go forward and assess every situation I'm in, especially when I don't feel comfortable about it, to really check what's happening inside of me. And is the judgment right now useful to have it? And it's okay to have it. We don't have to run away from it and say, oh, I can't be judgmental, it's bad to be judgmental, and all this stuff, which again, as I said at the beginning, it's a judgment itself. But really focusing on how is that situation useful for me? How am I affected by this person's behavior? How would I like things to be? And connect with yourself and express it as well. We have a right to go and tell somebody, listen, the way you acted, I really didn't like it. And we don't have to do it necessarily in an aggressive way. We don't have to do it in a way that condemns the person as a person, but that focuses on the person's behavior. You know, like what you did, I really didn't like it, you know. I don't like the way you behave to me. I want you not to do that, or I want people to behave to me this and this and that. And of course, there are consequences of your behavior. If you behave like that, this is what happens, you know. And it's very good to have that clear judgment about the situation. And the other part is that also without judgment, we would not be able to correct things. And sometimes correction can feel like something that is difficult and is hard, and we don't want to, because we want to be free and roam around. And for me, a person that was raised in a family or with a parent that was really always like correcting me and putting me in within the frames and within the box, even right now it's very hard for me to address that I don't want to correct other people, because I know how it feels. However, if it comes from the place of love and acceptance, you know, if I'm not gonna correct your behavior, you're not gonna reach your goal. For example, if I'm always gonna act wrong towards myself and there won't be, the correction would not be there, I won't be able to improve my relationship with myself or with other people, you know. So the correction is a very important part in order to improve our relationships with ourselves and with other people. And in order to correct things, again, we need a judgment. We need to judge the situation as not useful, not practical, or just simply wrong. It's the same like playing violin, for example. If I'm gonna play one way and I'm using, I don't know, I never play violin, so I don't know how you do it wrong, but you just do it wrong and the teacher won't correct you, you will never be able to play certain things on violin. And I believe it's the same with us. If we don't have the clear judgment to improve the way we do things, we behave towards other people, the relationship we have with ourselves, then we won't be able to change. And the life is all about growth. Either we want to deny it, believe it or not believe it. It's just quite evident that we always go forward, we always expand. And I think the goal of self-development, the goal of spirituality, although I don't want to use that word too much, is or goal of therapy itself, it's to build that relationship with yourself, and it has to be done based on judgment, and it has to be done based on correction. And the judgment doesn't have to come, as I said, from the place that condemns the person, but the judgment can come from the place that focuses on behavior, on the situation. So this is what I wanted to express. I think there are many important things I could say about judgment, but that was something on the top of my head. So I invite you not to be afraid of the judgment. Just focus the judgment on the situation, on the behavior, not necessarily on the person. And from that point on, you can start improving things in your life, adjusting things in your life to go on the right path. And that path is usually satisfaction from life, because talking about happiness, it's like, for me, it's something very ephemeral, kind of utopic, what that really is, does that really exist, and also it's very personal. But if we focus on satisfaction from life, and it can be in different areas of our life, then we can address, yes, I'm satisfied with, I don't know, my romantic life, I'm not satisfied with my career, I'm satisfied with my work, and it's easier to address things. And in order to be satisfied in our life, we need that clear direction. And in order to have a clear direction, we have to have clear judgment and a healthy judgment. And that also is the vessel or the vehicle that can help us to establish very healthy relationship with ourselves. And for me, it's the base of satisfaction from life. So thank you very much. I will hear you soon. Bye.